Tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's exactly 9 a.m. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us in today's edition of the News Punch, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is Bisola, Oduwole, Suleiman, and here are the stories making the waves across the world. In Nigeria, the federal government has warned members of the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, to shelve their planned 5-day warning strike, describing it as illegal. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, issued the warning after receiving a letter from the NARD executive notifying him of the impending industrial action built to commence today. The Labour Minister advised the doctors to avail themselves of the opportunity for social dialogue with their employer rather than embark on a warning strike, arguing that it was unknown to the law. Still in Nigeria, the National Population Commission has said it is collaborating with stakeholders in the health sector in the digitization of birth registration in Nigeria. This was disclosed by the Director of Vital Registration, Matthew Sunday. It will be recalled that the United Nations Children's Fund on Friday said only 33% of children in Nigeria have birth certificates. UNICEF's Chief of Kano Field Office, Rahama Farah, stated this during a stakeholders meeting on birth registration organized by UNICEF in collaboration with the NPC in Kano State. And moving on to the foreign scene, a woman won a local election in India almost 2 weeks after her death as supporters kept their pledge to back her in a sign of respect, officials said. Ashia B polled nearly 44% in the race for a municipal civic body seat in India's most popular state of Uttar Pradesh in this month and was declared victorious posthumously. The popular 30-year-old first-time candidate fell ill, reportedly from an acute lung and abdominal infection, and died just 12 days before the poll. Her husband informed the election officials, but District Officer Bhagwan Sharan said that there was no procedure in place to remove her name from the ballot. And in the world of sports, Folarin Balogun has committed his international future to the U.S., ditching England and Nigeria. The 21-year-old Arsenal player, who is on loan at Reims in France, was born in the U.S. to Nigerian parents and raised in England. After FIFA cleared him, Balogun decided to pitch his tent with the U.S. And that's all we have for you on this morning's edition of the News Punch. Coming up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we take a look at the analysis of some of the major stories making the rounds. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in domain? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
It is a Wednesday morning right here on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, and you're welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show. This is a platform where we take a look at the analysis of some of the major stories making the rounds. We dissect the stories with our guest in the studio, and then we also open up the platforms for you to also send in your reactions and contributions. You're welcome. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. I'm your host this morning. And I have with me Barrister Gideon Osagbemi, a legal practitioner, public affairs analyst, and a social commentator. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here again.
All right, let's quickly get into the business of the day. We're live on Facebook at Diamond 87 FM, YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin, and then you can also send in your reactions via text or WhatsApp 09136556864. And the first story we're taking a look at this morning is that of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors. Worried by the alleged failure of the federal government to meet its demand, the NARD, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, on Monday declared a 5-day warning strike, which starts this morning. President of NARD, Dr. Emeka Orji, confirmed to newsmen on Monday the resident doctors have been at loggerheads with the federal government over poor remuneration and better welfare for their members, among other concerns. They are demanding an immediate increment in the consolidated medical salary structure to the tune of 200% of the current gross salary of doctors, and the new allowances included in the letter written by the association to the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, on July 7th, 2022. On the review of CONMES. This is not the first time the association will embark on a strike action. The federal government, however, put a reply to the development yesterday. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, issued the warning yesterday shortly after receiving the letter from the NARD executive notifying him of the impending industrial action bill to commence at midnight. Upon receiving the letter, Ngige was said to have contacted the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, who informed him that a meeting had been scheduled by his office with the resident doctors for today. The Labour Minister advised the doctors to avail themselves of the opportunity for social dialogue with their employer rather than embark on a warning strike, arguing that it was unknown to the law. He assured them that they will not be paid for those 5 days they want to embark on a strike. Now, this is, Barrister, this is another strike again by the doctors. Let's take a look at the parties involved. Who is taking this issue farther than expected? Is it the doctors? Is it the government? Who exactly is dragging it?
Thank you very much. From historical background, we will all observe that we have been having recurring strikes by medical practitioners, whether doctors, nurses, or health workers. For the past 5 years now, it has been a recurring decimal. As a matter of fact, there is no year that we don't experience at least 2 rounds of industrial action by doctors.
All right.
So what it means to a common man, to a reasonable man, is that there is something not being done well in that sector.
Okay.
So I wouldn't lay the blame at the feet of any party to say a party is taking it too far. But it shows that there are issues yet to be resolved in that sector.
All right. Well, now, Dr. Chris Ngige is in the news again, and this time around he told the doctors that they should not embark on strike and they should give room for social dialogue with their employer, and that they will not be paid for the 5 days if they eventually embark on this strike. Now, do you think his verbal expression to issues between workers and the government have value to aid the conversation?
Obviously, the style of the Honorable Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, who himself is a medical practitioner by training, his style, since he assumed the office of Minister of Labour, his style in handling industrial disputes, to me, has not been the best. We were all here when ASU went on a very long strike last year. We saw meetings, negotiation meetings that were held with ASU. We saw temper. We saw his we heard his utterances and all that. And I can say that his style has not been helping industrial harmony in the country. Issuing threats to workers here and there has never solved any industrial crisis anywhere in the world.
All right.
But for this particular strike now, we discovered that the resident doctors have issued a 2 weeks warning, a 2 weeks ultimatum to the federal government that they were going to embark on 5-day warning strike from today, Wednesday. Between the 2 weeks, what has the government done? What has the ministry done? Did they have to wait until the maturity of the warning before they start negotiations? The negotiation that was fixed for this morning is what ought to have been done before today, in order to avert the strike from even happening today at all. But as it is now, the strike was bid to commence midnight or early morning today, and it is predictable that already as we are now, the doctors must have down tools.
All right. Now, let's take a look at the request by the NARD. They're requesting for 200% of the gross salary of doctors and other allowances as well. Is the NARD asking for too much, judging by the economic reality in the country at the moment?
Now, the request by the resident doctors is not only about 200% increase in their salary. Now, one of the requests is immediate massive recruitment of clinical staff in the hospitals and abolishment of the bureaucratic limitations to the immediate replacement of doctors and nurses who leave the system. Another one is immediate infrastructural development in our hospitals with a subsequent allocation of at least 15% of the budgetary provisions to health sector, and then the 200% increase. Now, before we consider whether these requests are unnecessary and excessive, let's take a little bit of statistical analysis of the numbers of doctors we have in Nigeria. Now, the WHO recommendation for a doctor to patient ratio is 1 doctor to 600 patients.
All right.
However, in Nigeria, we have a population of over 200 million people, but we have only 24,000 qualified doctors in Nigeria.
Wow.
If you do a statistical analysis of that, you discover that the best figure we can have is 1 doctor to 10,000 patients. Now, taking the analysis further by demography, you discover that in some states in the northern part of Nigeria, you have a doctor attending to as much as 45,000 patients, while in the south, we have a doctor attending to 30,000 patients. Now, we also know that in the recent time, we have had brain drain, that is, movement of professionals outside Nigeria to greener pastures. What that tells us is that an average doctor is overworked, is overstressed, and overstretched. If you go to medical facilities today, you discover that nurses and doctors attending to patients are tired, they are exhausted, simply due to the fact that they are understaffed. So now we have to now juxtapose this background fact with their demands.
Yes.
The first demand is immediate massive recruitment of clinical staff. If we all know and we agree that these people are overworked, they are overstretched, is it too much to request that more hands be employed without the bureaucratic limitations to recruitment? That is, if a doctor is leaving a particular hospital today, in the next 1 week, let another doctor be employed, so that you don't have to wait for federal government recruitment that will take about 2-3 years. That means the other doctors on ground will have to start doing the job of the person that has left until somebody will be recruited. So immediate and massive recruitment, for me, they are not asking for too much.
Okay.
The second demand is 15% budgetary allocation. We all know that WHO standard for budgetary allocation to health sector is minimum of 15%.
All right.
But in Nigeria, we've never had 8%. The highest we have now, I think, is 7.2 or 7.5%.
Okay.
So if the doctors are now requesting that government, please shore up your financial commitment to this sector. They have not asked for too much. It is only the third request where they are asking for 200% increase in salary. I think for me that's not realistic. It's on the high side.
All right. Barrister Sagbemi, we need to hold that thought. We need to go on a short time. But when we come back, all these things that you have mentioned would require funds.
Yes.
It would require money to execute, either the 200% increment or the replacement of staff who have left and the likes. Now, judging by the economic realities of the country, can the government handle this at this point in time? But when we come back, we will talk about that. Just stay with us. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives. From birth and naming of a child.
May your life be rich and potent as the red palm oil.
Colors tell of the feelings in our hearts.
Aww.
Through rainbow-like roses or even bubbly emojis. Colors speak of our distinctive ancestry through the shade of our skin. Colors are in the bright garbs we wear to impress, or the deluxe coat we give our buildings.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
And with our proudly Nigerian deluxe paints now available in any color, express your world however you want it. Visit a Deluxe Color Center to get any color instantly.
Deluxe, let's color.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in and listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry. And this morning, we're talking about the NARD, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors planned strike, scheduled to start this morning, and conversations between them and the government. The request by this association and taking a look at our economic realities, is it something that the government can do at this point in time? I still have my guests with me. I have Barrister Gideon Osagbemi in the studio. So I would like you to answer that question now. Can the government actually fund this at this point in time? Can they handle these issues appropriately? Seeing the issues that we have on ground, we have lots of issues. We have, and it requires money. It requires funds. Is this something the government can do right now?
Thank you very much. For anything monetary, you have to talk about budgeting. Now, the 2022 budget, I believe, is still being run in Nigeria.
All right.
Now, for any salary to be increased, it has to be budgeted for.
Okay.
And if that has not been done, it means that the earliest possible time that can be done will be 2024 budget preparation. So invariably what I'm saying is that on the issue of salary increase by 200%, it is not practicable to be effected now as we speak, unless it is budgeted for in the next budgetary cycle.
Okay.
But on the issue of replacing staff that have relocated and migrated, since the country has already budgeted the salaries and allowances of those who are leaving, it doesn't take government anything to immediately employ and recruit other persons to replace those who are leaving and pay them with what those who left will have earned. So there's no ceremony, there is no long debate on the issue of replacing medical doctors that relocate, because their salaries had already been budgeted for. So you can use that same salary to pay those who you will employ afresh. In fact, I read where the Minister of Labour was threatening doctors that if they go on strike, the payment, their pay for the 5 days will not be paid, and then ad hoc medical personnel will be recruited to act in their stead. If it is so easy to recruit ad hoc personnel when doctors are on strike, then why have you not been able to employ doctors to replace those who leave? If it is something you can do in a matter of minutes, then it is also applicable to recruit doctors within 10-15 minutes. Whenever anybody resigns, then you employ another person to take his position. It's that easy.
All right. Now, the president lives in a very little time, in about a couple of days, and we're still having this issue as a form of an inherited challenge for the incoming administration. What can the government do, or what do you expect the government to do within the short time frame that we have, or that they have left to spend in this administration, to leave a clean slate? Especially as regarding the health issues, issues with the health workers that we have right now.
For me, the government has not shown enough commitment to address the problem of the health sector. It is an open secret that the president just arrived Nigeria after he left the coronation of the king and took about 1 week additional time to attend to his dental request, his dental problem, toothache or something of that nature. So if we have a president that cannot trust a Nigerian dental practitioner to attend to his toothache, and he needs 7 days to have a foreign doctor attend to his dental request, then it shows that we have not even started taking any steps towards addressing the healthcare deficit we have in Nigeria. So what I'm saying is that the present administration would not do anything to address the issues before leaving. It's going to be an inherited problem for the next administration.
All right. Okay, let's take a couple of reactions from our listeners at home. You can call us on 091 3655 6952, 091 3655 6952, or 08 887 887, and send in your reactions via text or WhatsApp 091 3655 6864. Share your thoughts. Let us know what you think about the issue we're discussing this morning and what can be done. What should the incoming administration also do to ensure that this menace is curbed? We don't continue to have issues. We don't continue to have strikes by medical experts from time to time. All right, you can call us in 091 3655 6952 or 08 887 887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm speaking from.
All right, good morning, sir. Go ahead.
One thing that surprises me about Nigerians is we don't even know the duty of Minister of Labor. His duty is to mediate. But now he's negotiating. He takes over everything. If a ministry and its employees have problems, its own role is to mediate between the two. But if you watch, he sidelined Minister of Education, man was quiet. He's now sidelining Minister of Health, the man is quiet. So that is, I don't, whatever that man does, what President Buhari wants. Because when his first tenure, he appointed him. I mean, the same thing. Now, he appointed him and gave him the same portfolio, which means he like that militant type of a minister of labor, and that is very unfair to Nigeria. And that's one of the problem the incoming president will inherit. Those who are thinking, who is a military worker to pray for Nigeria. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Bamidele. 09136556952 or 888 That is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Kamal. I'm calling from Ojaya.
All right. Go ahead.
Concerning the issue of resident doctors, I think these are politicians. I don't think they have anything to offer to the because offer was the massive. Because what I believe, if at all they will say the resident doctor should practice in Nigeria for at least 5 years before they give them the license, then there should also be in the constitution that anybody trying for a political position immediately get the form, all his passport and his family passport should be withdrawn to the federal government throughout the tenure, so that whatever issue we are facing in the country, either medical issues, security issues, we should face it together. Not that someone will say because the senator is a governor, we now go to London, be going to France to seek medical attention.
Right.
Why you can't morning.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's take other reactions. I can see that he's really pained, but we understand you. JC Oluwagbemiga. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Samuel from Abodi.
Okay, Samuel. Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Thank you. I thank for the analysis that I have actually spoken on. For what I want to say is, for Nigeria, because in every sphere of life, the government really affects us. Look at the policy of the Naira and everything. In every sector, there is nowhere we can even be put off when Nigeria is not having issues. But what I just want to say is maybe our Ministry of Education should try and make another policy by making government as a general course, irrespective of wherever the student belongs to. Like government should be a general course, either for someone for a doctor or a science or commercial student, because the administrative of a thing beyond what someone that is being spend the rest of his life in a laboratory. At the end of the day, we end up want to be a leader of a nation who does not know how local government is functioning and its policy.
All right.
So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Jesilu Agbemigamaya Wabasu on Facebook says, to me, it's not what we expect from them that we're seeing. Going abroad in Nigeria, government cannot stop it. And getting doctors shouldn't be an issue at all. God have mercy on Nigeria. That's JC Obasu from Ofa. All right, we have this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? All right, Dr. Zil, good to have you on the program. Go ahead.
What do we expect from the government that doesn't care from the one and everything? They keep traveling. And I want to tell you, for the resident doctors, we should know that they just started with from this one that is going, we not do anything. And the one that is coming, don't forget they are from the same political party. And one thing we should know about them is that politicians that have been traveling, that are sickly, they go abroad for their big treatment or any other treatment they have. Even the president-elect, they have been traveling even a few days to their inauguration. So what we expect, we continue to, and we will not just be one tribe or the other. So we should not be hopeful for what there is no hope. What that hope should be when we have the right people in the right place, which can only solve the problem. Because these people, they are not ready to make Nigerian work. And if you look at it abroad, where they are going, it is possible that those ones too, they make things, they do not want them to stay there if they make a law that if you are a leader from another country, don't come and take treatment here, take treatment to your country. But because those ones have been waiting for us, they like our problem. That's what is going on. So we can face it. Because if you look at this government, the current one, for dental clinic, he cannot do. He went there for dental sickness and treatment. Imagine, who does that? So we should not put hope on them. The one that says review, let's see whether it's really the review.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zil. But I would still like to say that no matter what, I feel like we should still remain hopeful no matter the circumstances. Let's not give up. Let's hope that something better would happen really, really soon. All right, let's take this one. This one says, good morning, Diamond FM. I would start by saying that the demand of the resident doctors is absurd. The health sector is not the only sector in this country. The first and paramount request of the doctors should be total revitalization of the sector. Any demand tending towards self-gain should not be the major priority. The country will do better with more doctors and health structures, so the government should work on getting more doctors in the system instead of the 200% salary increment. The minister is also very undiplomatic in handling the issue. That's from Gideon from Shao. Okay, let's see if we can take a couple more contributions, then we go on the short timeout. Good morning to you in the house. Please, I need our guest to demystify more on what he meant by one doctor is attending to 45,000 patients. Does it mean in a day, a month, or a year? All right. Is it not the same hospitals that we have in Nigeria where we wait a long time expecting doctors? Can government alone attend to medical needs when government can attend to media and law alone. When we say the doctors should have waited for the next administration before going on strike, when we all know that the budget has already been passed, most of these demands need to be in the budget. Now they will go on strike like ASU did, where the masses will suffer. Not only politicians need to be banned for medical tourism, it is supposed to be all Nigerians before it works. That's from Omobolaji Okoba. I'll kindly attend to that before we go on this short timeout.
Thank you. The first issue he raised about one doctor attending to 45,000. Yes. We gave the statistical analysis of the population of Nigeria, and we also gave the number of doctors that available to serve the over 200 million population. I further went to northern and southern demographic explanation that in the north we have a lesser number of doctors compared to the number of doctors in the south, and in the north we have a higher population than what we have in the south. So what it means is that the ratio of doctor to patients in the south will be lesser than what we have.
One doctor to 45,000. Not that they attend to 45,000
at the same time.
In a day.
No. If in Kebbi State,
not
for instance,
everyone will fall sick at the same time.
If in Kebbi State, for instance, you have 4 million population and you have just 50 doctors, you can do the calculation yourself. And if in Osun State we have just 2 million population and you have 500 doctors attending to 2, you can also do the calculation and you see the...
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Gideon. Let's go on a quick timeout, but you can still send in your contributions via text or WhatsApp 09136556864, and then you can also drop your comments via Facebook at Diamond 87 FM and YouTube Diamond FM Ilorin. We're live there. Just stay with us. We'll be back.
kò sí mọ́ àwọn ká ti sá lọ àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ ìgbé wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí kára o lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
kókó lára ọ̀tá le gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde kára o lè pè ń bà àtòrà wọ̀ àtòrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa kegun tó kegun náà kára o yá gágá ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́ tẹ̀bá ti fi kára o lè pè ń bà rà lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú egun tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀ òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá fi kára o lè pè ń bà bọ̀ káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala action ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀lẹ́gun làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn kára o lè pè ń bà lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń bá. Tuyi Pharmaceutical Industries Limited àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é kára ó lè pè ń bá. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n kára ó lè pè ń bá. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pè ń bá mú rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122.
This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Development Agency in collaboration with the Nigeria Red Cross Society with support from the Africa CDC SLL program.
Please listen to this announcement. Royal Covenant Assembly, Railbird Christian Ministries International, invites the general public to its Railbird Convention 2023. Theme, The Calvary Verdict. Ministering Prophet Emo Adio, Pastor Dr. Bolakpaimo, Pastor R. Bolakpaimo, Reverend Bode Amo. Date is Wednesday, 17th May to Sunday, 21st May 2023. Join us at the Church Auditorium opposite Mount Olive Farmers Center, Ilorin, Kwara State. Time is 5 p.m. daily and 7:30 a.m. on Sunday. For further inquiries or direction to the venue, you can call us on 080-3396-5205. Come one, come all. Jesus is Lord. Announcer, Royal Covenant Assembly.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in and listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry. I'm still your host this morning. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman, and I still have with me Barrister Gideon Osagbemi, and we've been having a very interesting conversation, and you can still send in your reactions via text or WhatsApp 091 3655 6864 091 3655 6864. Let's quickly move on to the second issue we'll be discussing this morning. As part of measures to protect local inventions, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Olorunimbe Mamora, recommended the banning of all foreign goods that can be produced locally in Nigeria. Addressing State House correspondents at the 71st Ministerial Media Briefing, Mamora expressed regret over the underutilized research works and inventions simply gathering dust in the various agencies because of lack of investors. More fundamentally, highlighted the challenge of protecting the intellectual property of inventors as well as taking research outputs to the markets. It therefore underpinned a resolve by lawmakers and the government to follow through with the legislation to compel protection of the inventions before pushing them to the market. Barrister Gideon, is this a right or wrong decision at the moment? Let me get where you stand in this whole conversation as regards this recommendation made by Olorunimbe Mamora.
With respect to the Honorable Minister, I see it as a very wrong call.
Why?
Nigeria is not ripe for what he's proposing. If you don't have self-sufficiency in terms of your economy, then you cannot do away without importation. What he's proposing invariably is complete banning of imported goods.
Imported goods that can be produced in Nigeria, not all imported goods.
Yes.
We might not be able to produce everything.
Whether
so
the ones we can produce, how many goods do we have self-sufficiency about in Nigeria? How many? We do not have 20% self-sufficiency in the production of anything in Nigeria yet. So it is not an appropriate call at this moment. I understand his lamentations and frustrations. He said there are inventions that Nigerians have come up with that are not enjoying the patronage of Nigerians. And it is on that basis that he's now calling that whatever we produce in Nigeria, there should be a ban on foreign products of that sector.
Yes.
Now, if we take a look back to what we had during the ban on the closure of border and the indirect ban on importation of rice, we discovered that the local supply of Nigerian rice could not meet the demand of the population. Apart from the high cost of the locally produced rice, we also did not have sufficient quantities of the local rice. And eventually, what did the government do? The government had to open the border again. You know, the closure of the border was targeted towards preventing foreign rice from entering Nigeria. So that alone shows that we don't have self-sufficiency. And going into the larger economy, what he's trying to propagate is an indirect call for communism, which is a situation where the government controls the means of production and distribution. Nigeria is a capitalist and socialist state. We cannot, at this stage, start talking about communism. We run an open market operation where you compete with competitors in the same sector. If you can brand your goods in a way to make it attractive, then you have customers patronizing you. But you cannot say because you want to sell your market, you prevent others from selling theirs. It is your duty to make your own marketable.
But according to him, this is also a way to promote locally made products, a way to ensure that they are more accepted in the market, and also provide a place to thrive for this product. At a point, whether we like it or not, we also need to look into becoming a producing nation. It will help our economy in a very good way. But do you think the government, as social, do we as Nigeria, as a government, have the socio-economic advantage to actualize this dream, to actually become a producing nation?
What do we produce in Nigeria other than oil?
Before now, we used to produce a lot of things.
Can we attribute 2 to 3 products that we can say this is our Nigerian brand? What do we produce? If not for the fact that oil is our mainstay, the mainstay of our economy, that we must explore oil. Is there any other thing we can say is produced by Nigerians or is produced in Nigeria? No. Although we have to give kudos and credit to some persons who have tried to promote the locally produced goods in Nigeria. We remember when President Obasanjo was in power, he propagated and marketed this fabric produced in Abeokuta, Adire. You can discover that we now have export in that sector. If we go to Abia State, we give credit to the current governor of Abia State, Dr. Ikpeazu. He decided that in Abia State, he will not wear anything that is not produced in Abia State. Today, if you see the man, he wears Ishiagu. I don't know if you know Ishiagu. This attire. Igbo attire. The belt he uses, the shoe he wears, palm sandal, everything you see on him is produced in Abia State. And they are now exporting Aba-made leather works. Now, without promoting or doing advertisements, if you also check the manufacturing industry, you will give kudos to the Inosun Motors Company. The vehicles are 100% assembled, if not manufactured, in Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say is that if we say we want to promote local content, it is a duty on you to brand your product in a way that it becomes marketable. It is not by killing others that you grow. It is the extra work you put into your product that will sell your product.
All right. So how do we?
So what has the minister of Dr. Mamura, what has he done personally as a sacrifice to boost locally produced goods? What has he done? The suit he wears is in Nigeria made. The shoes he wears today is in Nigeria made. So let him contribute in his own quota, other than his official capacity, in a personal capacity. Let him contribute to making Nigerian products attractive.
Okay.
Before we can now talk of banning other things we don't produce.
Now, even if we're not talking about banning it, and we're talking about moving to a phase whereby we can produce, what are other things that you feel we can put in place? How do we move from a consumer nation to a producer nation?
The government should support agriculture. You discover that agriculture is the supplier of raw products for almost every other industry. So if government can move into agricultural sector and support it, create government farms, support private entrepreneurs who are farmers, and let there be overflow, so to speak, of food and raw materials, then it will have a spillover effect on every other industry. That's what the government should be thinking about.
All right. Let's get your reactions. You can call us on 091-3655-6952 or 080-00-887-887, and then send us messages via text or WhatsApp 091-3655-6864. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show, and you can also drop us comments via Facebook at Diamond 887 FM and YouTube Diamond FM Ilorin. 091-3655-6952. That is the number to call. Tell us what you think about the issues we have discussed this morning. This one says, it is better we break down the analysis for the benefit of our listeners. I have come across many people taking opinion on anything they hear from analysts on radio as authority. What made Jonathan, who was vice president to late Yaradra, to drop 7-point agenda? What made Oyetola, who was COS to Aregbesola, Ganduje, dropping the idea of their predecessors? Give me assurance of what the incoming administration that the incoming administration will take a different approach to handle issues, irrespective of anybody's displeasure. That's from Omobolaji from Okuoba. All right, Omobolaji, thank you so much. Hello, 09136556952. We need to go on a short time out. When we return, we will be taking your reactions.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives. From birth and naming of a child.
May your life be rich and potent as the red palm oil.
Colors tell of the feelings in our hearts.
Aww.
Through rainbow-like roses or even bubbly emojis. Colors speak of our distinctive ancestry through the shade of our skin. Colors are in the bright garbs we wear to impress, or the deluxe coat we give our buildings.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
And with our proudly Nigerian deluxe paints now available in any color, express your world however you want it. Visit a Deluxe Color Center to get any color instantly.
Dulux, let's color.
Welcome back. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show, and it is that time to give us your reactions, your contributions to the issues discussed this morning. You can call us on 09136556952 or 8000887 and then send us messages via text or WhatsApp 09136556864. Let us know. Let us get your thoughts on the issues we discussed this morning. I'm trying to. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Ajola by name.
All right,
from
go ahead.
Ethiopia.
All right, go ahead, sir.
I love the program.
Thank you.
And the man that was speaking with you,
All right, go ahead, sir.
that man was so intelligent.
Hmm.
But our people in government, they are useless people of foolish words.
Oh, all right, sir. Please,
Don't
let's
put
mind
no
our
lies.
language. We don't use words
Don't
like
put
that
no
on
lies,
the
so let them
radio.
know it.
All right, please, let's
Thank you.
mind our language. We
I
don't
love
use words like that on the radio. We do not address people like that. We address people with respect, and we air our views as much as we can, but we also mind the kind of words, the kind of language that we use on the radio. Thank you very much. Do call us back on 0913655686952 09136556952. I know that people are going through a lot at this point in time, but we should not let our emotions cloud our judgment. And let's be very constructive with the kind of statements that we make. 091365569. We're trying to take your calls, but the network is a bit crappy this morning. But of course, you can send us text messages or WhatsApp messages via this number 09136556864, and then we'll read them out and also have our guests. If you have questions for our guests, we'll also have our guests respond to them. Okay. All right, do not forget what we're talking about this morning. The first story is on the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors planned strike, which is scheduled to start this morning, and the conversations between them and the government. What is the way forward? What do you think this administration can do before it winds down to ensure that we do not pass on this issue to the incoming administration, or to just ease the tension that is currently on at this point in time? And then the second issue is on the need for the government to ban the importation of everything that can be produced in Nigeria, every good, every product, every item that can be produced in Nigeria, in order to ensure that we boost our economy and have a producing nation. Is that the way to go? Is it the right move at this point in time? Do you think that is the way to go right now? And what can we do to transition into becoming a producing nation? 09136556952. That is the number to call, or send us text messages 09136556864. And then you can also drop your comments on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM and YouTube Diamond FM Ilorin. All right, let me quickly take your thoughts, your final thoughts on the issues that were discussed this morning. Moving forward, where do we go from here?
Thank you. On the issue of the resident doctor strike, I'll call on the government to be more committed to the welfare of the doctors, and the doctors themselves should not insist on having it all. You know, in a negotiation, you can never have it all. So if you're able to push your interest to an extent, you also consider the larger society and arrive at a mutual agreement so that they can resume. The issue of 200% increase in salary is not realistic, but there should be an immediate recruitment of doctors to ease the stress of the existing doctors in that sector.
All right. But do you also feel that they should get an increment in salary at this point in time?
I know that doctors have always clamored for increase, and it is not too proper to continue to demand for increase every time, every 6 months. So I'm not in support of that increase in salary. Doctors are already well paid to an extent. So I'm not in support of any increase in salary.
The doctors will come for you this morning.
Yes, come for me.
This one says, "Good morning. My name is Tomiwa from Okwoba. It's funny how you want to stop people from finding solutions to the problem you are not working on, and it is total nonsense to stop the doctors from traveling. It is a very, very bad attitude. I think we should just hope the incoming administration would do better than the current one. Nigeria should work more on agriculture. All the burden is on oil production, and we don't even have absolute say over selling our product." All right, let me see another one. Okay, I'm still trying to refresh the messages, but keep them coming in. 09136556864 or 09136556952. That is the number to call. Let's see if we can sneak in one call or two this morning before we go. The phone lines are acting up, but we'll try as much as we can to take your call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, we lost that call. Do call us back. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mr. Delike calling from Ibudu.
All right, Mr. Delike. Go ahead, sir.
I appreciate the work you are doing and the analysis.
All right.
Okay, I want to speak concerning the doctor going abroad. You see, if you plan to stay, I think if you stay to plan, you are planning to stay.
All right.
What we learn, what we stay to understand Nigeria, that we don't plan for any good things, but we do the opposite. They are talking about the medical aspect now because it's pertains to life. As I speak now, it's not only doctors.
All right.
Before somebody reports it, something will contribute to it. Whether food, whatever.
All right.
There are other sectors. Even as we have been doing in the health sector, we have it in other sectors
as well.
But nobody is making that conversation.
All right.
Nobody is bringing it up until it became cancer that is not affecting everybody.
All right. Thank you so much.
It's not only doctor, but instead of us to look at the issue, what really that is affecting our doctor abroad.
All right.
What can we do locally
all right.
to make our own health sector here attractive to doctors for them to stay? We don't discuss. No, the government are not raising any issue concern that. The only issue that how will I stop you?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
We believe to be we agree to be patriotic. Will not be a result.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that. This one says, "Good morning, program anchor and guest in the studio. I pray God pass through this nation because everything is not going as we expect, and we don't have any product, and we want to stop exports." And I think that's doctor strike. Timing is inappropriate. They should engage human resource consultants to present their demands. That's from Kolade Ayinde. We need to go now. This is where we call it a wrap on the program this morning. Thank you so much, Barrister Gideon Osagbemi, for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. Have a lovely rest of the day.
The best music on the best station.
88.7.
Diamond FM.
Let's go. This is your radio, your station. The radio station that plays you nothing but the best music.
All you need is Diamond 88.7 FM.
You don't need no other.